Welcome back, everybody, to The Horror Returns. I'm Lance, and with me, as always, my co-hosts Brian and Philip. But it's Cage Rage night, so you know what that means. The folks from Down Under are coming to pay us a visit. We've got Bede and Marcey, of course, from Super Network. How's it going, guys?
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, it's me, Nicolas Cage, and also Nicolas Cage. We're taking over the podcast.
We're not actually from down under.
I was hoping that would come up.
Yeah, that was
Speak to
quick.
himself.
But seriously, though,
That was quick.
we're here, we're back, and we're looking forward for
Yes.
more Cage Rage for this episode because we always love talking some Cage with you guys.
Yes, and I tend to keep missing them, so I'm glad to actually be here.
Yeah. Here we are, and unlike you reminded me, Beat, of the Ricky O fiasco where we had to re-record. You're actually here on the recording with us this time.
Yes, at least until we check it that it's not recording, which don't worry, it kind of happened to
Yes.
us as well on our show because we had to, I think it was when Marcy and I and our friend Matt, we did an audio commentary for Sleepwalkers. I forgot to hit record and we had to go back and do it again like a week later.
It definitely
fun,
wasn't
yeah.
as funny as the lost recording, though. That was gold.
Yes.
Been there, done that. Been
Yeah.
there, done that. Yeah. All right. Well, what's going on over there at the network? You've still got all the shows going on, I take it, right? After Dark, Bede versus the Living Dead, Crystal Lake. What is it called? Crystal Lake Fond Memories. Is that what it was called?
Well, I guess my shows, Bede versus the Living Dead and Bede and C versus Camp Crystal Lake, they're not even part of the Super Network. They're their own separate universe. Because Marcy and I, we have our solo shows are outside the Super Network, and anything that's Super Network related is what we do together. And Marcy, we've been pretty busy with a lot of shows as
We've
of
been
late.
just busy in general. That our whole
That's a good thing.
schedule has gone out the window a little bit. But recent episodes you can check out. There are a few on supermarcy.com, home of the Super Network. There's some Ozploit cast episodes, so you can hear all
Mhm.
about some mid-80s Ozploitation films. There is the part 1 and part 2 of the Stephen King Frank Darabont adaptations over at the King Zone. And of course, we have, as of this week, as of recording, we have just wrapped up Shark Month over at the To Be Tuesdays podcast.
Okay.
And it was a wild ride. Let's just say that. We saw puppets. We saw a shark with a chainsaw. We saw a Hulk Hogan impersonator. There was a lot going on that for the month of Shark Month.
Hulk Hogan impersonator. That's awesome.
Fucking A, man.
Everybody, go
Jesus
listen to the
Christ,
Cruel
man.
Jaws episode because Bede wasn't on it, so that makes it funny. And
Aw.
also, the episode is absolutely hilarious.
Well,
We
I'll tell
covered
you
quite
what. No, here in the states, we do Shark Week. In
that's
Australia,
why
it's
we
good
did
to know you do
Shark Month.
Shark Month.
Yes, we
Yes.
did
Big
Shark
difference.
Month because of Shark Week.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Colin said he was really high and we shouldn't have listened to him. But we're like, fuck,
Yeah.
dude, no idea is too stupid for To Be Tuesdays.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And we covered
Yeah.
quite a lot of insane shark movies that month. I think my pick was Ghost Shark, which I know you
Oh,
guys did an
yeah.
audio commentary for. And we also
Ghost Shark
did
was
Puppet.
great. The
Then we
slip
did
and slide was the best. Oh my god.
Puppet Shark, which was a shark movie with just puppets. And then
You've
we
gotta
did
be
one
That
fucking
called
sounds
man.
terrible.
and then we did a Swedish movie called Jaws of the Shark, where a dude was like basically wearing the left shark costume from the Super Bowl and going around and murdering people with a chainsaw.
Well, there's no shortage of them.
And for
Wow.
some reason, every single
Wow.
character in the film is wearing a wig.
like a wig, like a
Yes,
like a
very
glorious
obvious
wig.
wig. And Bede was like,
Yeah.
I need all these for my wig collection.
Jesus Christ. So kind of like a wig that would be worn by like Joel Osteen or someone that runs a mega church, basically, right?
Basically,
Yes.
it's a wig that would have been worn by our main attraction actor for this episode.
Yes.
Yes, I can see that. All right. Well, so what about After Dark? What's going on with After Dark?
I wish I could tell you. I have plans. I just need time to actually get them done.
Okay.
But all previous
All
episodes
right.
are available to listen to at the After Dark podcast feeds.
Well, we have some listener feedback, I think, tonight, Marcy, that you might want to pay particular attention to, because I think it's a film that might be right up your alley to cover for After Dark. We shall see. But in the meantime, let's get around to our famous Cool of the Week. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in first.
I'll go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we got? Who's jumping in? Phil or Bede? Coin
I'll
toss.
go first.
I'll go. Yeah. So I took the kids to go see Twisters. It just came out. My wife was a big fan of the original. It was one of her favorite movies when she was a kid. And man, this one did it justice. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I heard good things.
Good destruction. I kind of like that main guy. He starts out as like a dick in every movie that he's in, and then ends up being the good guy.
Glenn Powell.
The guy that makes every woman cream her pants, and all every man as well, apparently.
But I mean,
I still say that guy should have been Johnny Storm in the new Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man, oh man.
He's got the best douchebag look I've ever seen. and then he ends up being the good guy every time. It's crazy. But yeah, man, very impressed with it. It was a pretty good movie.
Cool.
That's all I
Any standout scenes in it that you can talk about that won't spoil the movie? Like anything you didn't see in the first?
A lot of destruction. There was a rodeo that's in the trailer that gets pretty torn up, and one of the guys, like one of the little tertiary actors in the background of the rodeo scene, is Bill Paxton's kid. So
shit.
Yeah, a fun little nod. Yeah, so they throw a lot back to the original.
So Lil Paxton was in it, huh?
Yeah,
that's the same. That's the same Lil Paxton that was in the Fanatic, and I know Bede was waiting to say that, but I beat you to it, Bede.
Yeah, I know.
You beat him to the punch.
I was waiting for either myself or Marcy to bring that up, that he was also in the Fanatic.
All right, so we got Twisters down. Who's next? Is that your turn now, Bede?
Actually, it's funny though. Like, I'm looking back over my letterbox, what I've been watching, and most of everything I've been watching, it's been podcast related, so I can't really talk about some stuff at least until those episodes. It's kind of a mixture of either for Bede vs. the Living Dead or Camp Crystal Lake, and also for mine and Marcy's shows. But I guess I can talk about ones that I actually have seen that have nothing to do with podcast related stuff. I did check out at the cinema A Quiet Place Day One.
Nice. Okay.
Which I thought it was a great prequel. Like, it is, you could definitely tell watching this film that the director of Pig was involved with this film. Like, especially with the scenes where it's just the characters just either talking or just their interactions with each other. Like, those scenes felt very grounded and also very believable and very humanistic, along with all the intense, big alien monster set pieces that are around it. So yeah, that one was actually a pretty great prequel. I would say it's probably my second favorite of the franchise so far.
Oh, wow.
But so far, this whole franchise has actually been pretty consistently good so far. And then I also checked out Maxine, which was also out as well. And I really enjoyed that. Not as good as the previous two films, but I thought it was a pretty solid... Like, if this is meant to be the final film in the franchise, I think it's a pretty solid one to end on. Like, definitely some aspects they could have gone a little bit further with, but overall I did enjoy it, and I liked the sort of the very Brian De Palma 80s aesthetic of the film. Sure. And of course, Mia Goth is continues to be great
Mhm.
in this franchise. So yeah, those are pretty. I would say both of those were definitely my faves of the week. But if I had to pick an actual number one cool of the week, I'll probably go with A Quiet Place Day One.
Quiet Place Day One. All right, I will write it down. Let it be so. This time, Brian, I won't forget to mention or to write down the correct cool of the week as I've done in the past. Marcy?
Yeah, my cool of the week is when we went to see Longlegs on Saturday, and during the movie, Bede next to me was snoring.
In a Nick Cage movie.
In a Nick
Hard to
Cage
believe.
movie, in a serious Nick Cage movie, Bede was asleep and snoring.
Uh-oh.
I just needed to call you out on it, Bede, because that was hilarious.
Because you were legit shocked when I thought I'll just I'm trying to keep my eyes open,
I
and
was trying
then
not to laugh.
Marcy, if you were my friend, you would have just elbowed me awake.
Nope.
How dare you?
Well, this will
You
be a
brought
fun
it on
review.
yourself, man.
At least I wasn't
Man,
bad as my cousin, because she and I went years ago, went and saw The Force Awakens. Like within the first 10 minutes,
Wow.
she fell asleep,
Yeah.
and she woke up.
I can understand that.
Yeah, and then she woke up 10 minutes before the movie ended.
Wow.
Some of the best
Ugh.
sleep I've ever got was watching Slender Man in the movie theater.
I remember that. I fell asleep. I think all three of us fell asleep,
Yeah.
right, Brian?
It was a
That-
fantastic-
Literally.
That checks out. However, my real cool of the week is the part 1 of season 6 of Cobra Kai, which I thought was awesome. I
Ah.
love that show so much. I'm sad it's ending, but it's probably a good time to end it. I love those 5 episodes. I am anxiously waiting for the next 5. But that's my cool of the week, besides from calling Beat out for falling asleep in a Nicolas Cage movie.
It's never going to be let down at all.
Brian, did she steal your thunder for cool?
Yes,
of the
she
week?
did. That's my cool.
I
of
had
the
a
week.
feeling.
Cobra Kai, season 6, part 1. The episodes move pretty fast. You got a lot of cheesy teen drama in there, which was it's just fun. The way they do it, it makes it fun. You get new adversaries for them to go up that they got introduced to, which I'm looking forward to
Right.
those fight scenes, because I think they're going to be pretty badass. And yeah, I agree, Marcy. I'm sad to see it go, but I just think where the story's going, maybe it's time.
There's not much else you can really do, so
And
go out while you're on top.
they still are connecting it to which I believe already wrapped filming, new Karate Kid movie with Ralph
Okay.
Macchio and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they're
Okay.
tying it in. There's definitely a lot of clues in there, so look
Cool.
forward to see
Yeah.
where it goes.
So does the second Karate Kid show up?
Oh, you mean Hilary Swank?
Oh, that's right.
Hillary Swank.
Not
I've been
yet,
waiting
but there's
for her
still
for
10
6
more
years.
episodes.
Okay. All right.
I think she'll be the big cameo,
Okay.
and Jackie Chan will be the finale end credits.
What about Will Smith's kid? Is he gonna pop up?
I hope not.
Okay. Anything else you want to throw in there, Brian?
I did show my daughter, what's that Shia LaBeouf movie, Disturbia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Sure.
kind of looking for something to watch, and I think one of our fellow podcasters was going to review it, and I was talking about it, and she only knows him from that movie he did when he was a kid, Holes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's going way back, man.
Yeah, so she knows him from that and like his crazy internet stuff. So
Sure.
showed it to her, and we both enjoyed it. It was a good rewatch, and she really enjoyed it. She liked the mix of the humor and the tense, thrilling scenes with the trying to figure out if the next door neighbor's the killer or not. So
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some great body cam footage out there too.
yeah.
Just
Does
in case
he?
you guys want to watch him get arrested.
Getting arrested.
And I totally forgot Carrie Ann Moss is in this movie. She plays the mom.
Hmm.
No kidding. All right, I'll have to go rewatch that one. I always like a good movie in the rear window genre.
Although
As so
that
many of them
movie
are.
felt way more like the Simpsons parody of Rear Window.
Oh,
Yes.
that makes
And
perfect
still, it's a
sense.
great movie. It's a fun
Which-
movie. It
Yeah.
just
was
it
also
felt
pretty
like it was the Simpsons episode rather than Rear Window.
I can understand that. So, Disturbia gets a good mark, Brian?
Yeah,
It was good
since
on this
Marcy
viewing?
did Cobra Kai, I'll go with Disturbia.
Nice. And I will, for the second time this year, go with a Disney ride for my
Oh.
cool of the week. Disney World ride. Again, just like Tron, the one I talked about a couple of months ago, this one's also in the Magic Kingdom. But it's the brand new Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
No.
Yep. It is where the Splash Mountain ride used to be. They completely gutted out the old ride and created a whole new ride built around basically the New Orleans theme. And I don't know why, for some reason, I've ridden Splash Mountain at least a dozen times, but it felt like the ride was like 4 times longer. And it can't be any longer because it's literally inside the same, fabricated mountain that the other ride was in. So there's no way it's a longer ride, but it just felt like there was so much more to it. Just the way that the Imagineering at Disney is getting is just phenomenal. It's like so hyper realistic as far as the human characters, and when you get like all the different animals that get together and they're playing like in a little band, you've got that for the kiddies, and they've got great little scenes set up that kind of, they don't really tell the story of the Princess and the Frog movie, but all the characters are in there, and it's kind of like a news story that builds on that. And of course you go into a grand finale before you get to the exit, as you do with every good Disney ride. So without giving anything away or any of the characters or surprises that are in the ride, Tiana's Bayou Adventure gets my cool of the week. Great
That's
ride.
right.
Lots
That's
of fun.
where the AI is going to take over at Disney.
That's
Watch.
right. At Disney, they're going to start.
Suddenly we're
Just-
in iRobot.
Just do not ride It's a Small World when you're tripping on acid. Guaranteed to have a bad time. So that's cool of the week, Brian. Where are we at on horror headlines this week?
We got a few. We'll start out with I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel, remake, reboot. Don't
whatever it
necessarily know
is.
what
Okay.
it is. Madeline Klein is set to star in it. The only thing I know her from is the Outer Banks on Netflix, and
The Outer Banks. Okay.
she played Batista's girlfriend in Glass Onion.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, sure. I remember that.
Now, I don't know if this is a remake because Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are in talks to return. So I guess
Here we
it's
go again. The passing of the torch.
a requel, I guess.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be more like the Scream 5, where it's kind of like a mixture of being a legacy sequel, but also maybe a little bit of a
Yes.
remake as well.
Mm.
I can totally see that.
Has Freddie Prinze Jr. done anything lately?
I know he's got a pretty good podcast he's been doing.
Does he?
Hasn't he been trying to, or has opened his own
Well-
wrestling league or something?
I did read that. 'Cause he used to be a writer for WWE.
What?
Of course. Of course they need writers. Of course.
What's that mean, Lance?
I think maybe it means it's all staged, man. Come on.
Excuse me,
Wrestling's not
Lance.
real.
Them
Somebody
stars.
argue with me here. Come on.
Nobody's
Prove me
gonna argue
wrong.
with you. Hallmark movies aren't real. How about that?
Oh, they aren't even remotely real. You're right.
This I missed off my list from a couple weeks ago. I was going through. Clint Howard is going to be in Terrifier 3.
Nice.
As the ice cream man?
I would hope.
That'd be great. That'd be great if he was.
Has his grenadine with him.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Clint Howard had just had like a 2-month stint on Bold and the Beautiful.
No. What?
Hmm.
Like recently?
We're full
Yes.
of information.
Wow. The more you know.
Man's everywhere.
Even sings in it.
Sure.
We're big fans of Clint Howard on the To Be Tuesdays podcast, and we have done the 2 previous Terrifier films for the show. So once that movie does eventually go on Tubi, you could know for sure
Yeah.
we're going to do that for the show.
Nice.
Probably on day one.
Yes.
Let's see.
We know it'll be on Screenbox, right, Brian?
It should be. They haven't said. I know I think it's going to get a wider theater release than Terrifier 2 did, considering how much
Okay.
money it made.
That does make sense, sure.
Let's
Look at this
see.
pink coat.
Let's see here. Kate Siegel is set to star in a horror comedy called Damned If You Do, and she's also going to produce
All
it.
right.
A horror comedy. Okay, that makes sense.
Why not? Why not?
Another thing I left off my list, her husband, Mike Flanagan, regained the rights to his movie Hush because people were trying to figure out why is it not on Netflix no more. And
Mhm.
he had a big issue with Netflix because Netflix doesn't like to put their original content on physical media, and he's a big physical media guy.
Well, there
So-
you go.
He regained the rights to it, and I believe next month it'll be available to rent and buy on digital. And he said there is a physical release coming.
Of course there would be. That makes sense. Okay. Are you going to be getting it, Brian?
Oh yeah, I really like that movie. That was probably first thing I really remember seeing Kate Siegel in for the first time.
Sure.
Speaking of Longlegs that we're going to review later on, Alicia Witt, she's in the movie Longlegs, says she would like to return to do an urban legend sequel. She was the star of the original one.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Urban Legend is great.
They could make it like
Is it?
Yes.
God damn it! What do you call it where they have a bunch of little movies in there? Anthology.
Oh yeah.
It'd be fantastic.
Also bring back Rebecca Gayheart because her character's still
Mhm.
alive in the universe of that series.
Yes.
There you go.
Is
We
it
saw
she,
that on the sequel.
Yeah, I was about to say she pops up in the sequel.
We haven't done any urban legend for this podcast, have we, Brian?
No, and we were supposed to do one with Nez on 31 Days for his network, but never happened. So
All
It
right,
will.
Well,
And we've done an episode on both movies. Well, episodes. Or
Isn't there a
commentaries,
third
I should
one?
say.
Yeah, there
have done
is.
that
Yeah,
one.
that one, Bloody Mary, which is
Yeah.
directed by Mary Lambert, who did the original Pet Cemetery.
of course, that's right.
Her co-star is it Micah Monroe or Micah?
Oh yes,
Micah, I think.
yeah, Micah, yeah.
Micah, okay.
She wants to take on Freddy Krueger in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Leto.
All
right.
That could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Let
That
her
could be
play
interesting.
Freddy Krueger. Jeez.
May as well.
Huh.
Yes, yes.
There was something that I'm missing here. We're getting a new VHS movie, VHS Beyond, and it's due out on Shudder in October.
I'm all for it, man.
I should probably watch the VHS movies.
You've never
Oh,
seen
they're
any of
fun.
them?
Nope.
They're
Pretty
great
good.
fun.
Yeah.
We might have to do them for Podcasters of Horror, Marcy.
I know we have a horror anthology podcast, and I've not seen those ones.
Oh yeah.
That's some good ones to add to the list. I think the newest one I think was the most fun for me anyway. Which one was it, Brian? Like 95 or 94 or something like that.
84.
84. Okay, I'm way off, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this
I'm-
one. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, from what I hear, this one is actually is going to be set in the future, hence the Beyond subtitle. 'cause It's going to
Ah.
be set in the future.
And they're using
future.
VHS in the future. Because all the
Yes.
computers have crashed, Philip.
Sold,
Exactly.
man.
All right. we're in.
Futuristic and horror. I'm down.
A lot of not as well known directors this time, which I do like that. Jordan Downey,
Yeah.
Bharat Pal, Kate Siegel is going to be making her directorial debut in one of the segments, and the segment's going to be written by Mike Flanagan.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it can't
Justin
be bad.
Martinez and Christian Long and his brother Justin Long.
Oh,
we
I
all
didn't
know
even know Justin Long had a
That'll
brother.
be great.
Yeah, they will be
Wow.
co-directing a segment.
These movies are taking off.
I'm excited for the Jordan Downey one because Jordan Downey did the Thanksgiving films. So
Yeah.
Oh,
This would be great.
we love some Thanksgiving.
Hey, much better than Thanksgiving. That's for damn sure, Elon.
I won't go that far, Lance. I won't go that far.
Just a different type of movie, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The Rosemary's Baby sequel or prequel, Apartment 7A, is going to be rated R for violent content and drug use, and this is going to be due out on Paramount Plus. And it stars Julia Garner. Is that from Ozark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sure. Ruth. I think her name is Ruth.
Oh, the blonde girl?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she's good.
Yep.
The Conjuring 4 gets a September 5th, 2025 release date. It will be the final installment in the series.
Sure it will be. Sure.
They're not ending the Conjuring universe. They're just ending the Conjuring movies.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah, because I think they're doing a TV
it.
series after that, I believe.
What's the story meant to be for the next one? Because
they kind of
that other one was not very good.
They never did the Crooked Man.
Well, I think it's kind of established at the end of the Nun that they're going up against the Nun in the last one.
But the Nun's got like 2 movies already.
They already went up against the Nun in the second one.
They've already done the same movie twice. Just called it Part 1 and Part 2, and it's literally
they're going to go up against Annabelle, the Nun, the Crooked Man, and all the other characters from the other
paranormal skeptics and.
That would be great.
It's going to be like the Avengers.
Exactly. Except it's going to be the bad guys.
They didn't cover that werewolf man story.
They kind of did a little bit in the third Annabelle movie, but yeah, I can agree with that, Marcy.
Yeah, the movie you guys hated that was soft PG-13, but I actually kind of thought was fun, with the werewolf and the ghost that was vapor or whatever.
It's funny how
I was on that episode.
Funny how that works.
I was on that episode. I enjoyed that movie as well.
Yeah, I had fun with it.
I barely remember it, and I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Melissa Barrera's upcoming romantic horror movie, Your Monster, gets an October 25th release date.
Nice.
Hallmark Channel, here we come.
This year.
Okay.
Gotta say that. Kevin Feige said Marvel's Blade will start production in November and will officially be rated R.
About damn time.
Yeah, we'll see
if that happens.
By the time the movie gets made, Mahershala Ali will be 80 years old.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for him. He's not taken a role since accepting this role.
That's the thing, though. The whole project, from what I remember, was all his idea. He went to them to want to do a reboot of Blade.
Right. Well,
because he won his second Oscar. A few days later, he rocked up at Marvel, said to Kevin Feige, I want to make a new Blade movie. And Feige's like, all right.
By the time it comes out, he's going to be playing Whistler.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we'll end it there as far as news. Oh, all wait. Right. Since it's a Cage Rage episode, we'll end it off of Nicolas Cage's psychological thriller, The Surfer, has been acquired by Lionsgate and Roadside Attractions for a 2025 release date.
And he
Okay.
plays an Australian in it, even though he has no Australian accent whatsoever in the clips I've seen.
That's
You've inspired him, Bede. You've inspired him. He must be watching all of your videos.
He's going to go around and say stuff like, "G'day, mate, it's me, Nicolas Cage. Where's the shrimp on the Barbie?"
Where's my Foster's beer? I'm gonna go and box a kangaroo.
And I'm
And
gonna
he
get
will.
and I'm gonna get chlamydia from a koala.
You just took it one step too far.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that
I
up,
think,
but there you
I think
go,
we
you
should
just
end
had to.
news right there.
Yeah, on that
That's a real
note,
thing, right?
It is.
Yeah, awesome.
on that note, let's take a little trip down to the trailer park. Brian is going to bring us the big, the small, and sometimes the very, very weird. What's the first new trailer tonight, Brian?
Monster Summer, starring Mel Gibson, Lorraine Bracco, and I didn't write his name down, the kid from The Black Phone.
I knew I saw him somewhere.
Don't have his name here.
Oh, well.
Marcy.
I don't know. I thought Bede would know.
I don't know the name. Mason Thames, I think it is. from what
Wow,
Yeah, good.
wow. Why would you even know that? That's insane.
I have like I just retain a lot of information when I see like movies and stuff like that. For all I know, it's probably not it. But I guess in terms of the actual trailer itself, I think it looks fun. Like I don't think it does anything that we haven't seen before, but I'll do like it definitely is going for that kind of Monster Squad type of vibe.
Yeah,
Except
kids on
you have
bikes.
exactly, and bit of a Stranger Things kind of vibe in there as well. And you also have Mel Gibson and they team up with him to fight monsters. So I'm very curious to see how this one's going to go down. I think it looks like it's just going to be like a fun little gateway horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. Yeah, it looks decent enough. Looks like it could be worth a watch. Interesting little trailer.
Bill?
Yeah, exactly what Bede said. It looks like a little gateway thing. It's kind of a Stranger Things ripoff, but so is Stranger Things is a ripoff of a bunch of other things. It's just the genre. I mean, very formulaic, but I'm sure it'll be a fun summer kids movie or whatever, depending on whenever it comes out. Or is it a Halloween thing?
Yeah, October 4th.
Okay, yeah. So good little kids Halloween movie.
Lance?
So let me get this straight. For years, nobody would touch Mel Gibson, right? Like he was persona non grata in Hollywood because of some
Don't think so.
drunken
I
episodes.
got many releases.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
all
been
right,
making
well,
a comeback.
Mel's definitely back. So let's put around all of our children and see how they turn out. You know, I don't know. It just seems like maybe not the best influence, but what do I know? He definitely looks like a grizzled little alcoholic in this, kind of like a Bad News Bears type character. So fuck it. I'm in. I'll give it a shot, especially if I bring the kids to see it. Why not?
Yeah, and I got to take my daughter because she's seen the trailer and she's a big Sandlot fan. And for some reason, Ham
Yeah,
from the Sandlot shows up for like 2 seconds.
that's
I
a little
noticed that in the
nod to
trailer.
the parents.
Yeah. Like I said, this comes out October 4th. I think it's getting a limited theatrical release. So be on the lookout for that. And on to our second and final trailer. Going along with the whole Devon Sawanaissance, that's what I call it, Sawanaissance. Consumed. Believe this also stars Courtney Halverson and Mark. I'm not even gonna go try to pronounce his last name. What you guys think of Consumed? Marcy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I hadn't heard of it or anything. I didn't even know Devon Thingy was in it. And then as I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, wait a second. And then yes, it was. Looks like a decent little film.
B.
Yeah, like it's I'm very curious to see this one. It does look pretty intriguing, and it does look creepy as well. And also, I am down for the Devon Sawana as well, especially between this and his appearances on Chucky and also The Fanatic, which Marcy and I are big fans of. So I'm definitely
Oh, of
curious to
course.
kind of curious to see how this one goes down, because I think it does look like it's going to be a pretty compelling little film.
Mm.
Phil?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks creepy as hell. I mean, the woods, you know, the dark thing in the woods. It looks like there's a pretty cool monster happening. The whole Wendigo thing. I'm interested to see how they portray it because it's a little bit different in every movie, but it's always kind of cool. And
Right.
like we need more Wendigo stories. I like it.
Yeah. Lance?
You mean you didn't get enough in the Pet Cemetery remake?
Unless you count stomping in the woods in the background.
I know.
Oh, we can't go over these branches. Just stay here. Just believe me, it's back there. Okay. Yeah, it looks great, man. I mean, the trailer does it. I love these kind of trailers because they don't give too much away.
Mm.
It's almost like it's misdirection. Because at first I was like, are these cannibals? Are they cave people that from the land that time forgot? Or what the fuck's going on here? So then you got all the weird colors in the end of it, and like you say, Philip, the big monster's hand with the long finger and stuff. So this could be intriguing. I'm on board, and I like a lot of the people that I see in it. I've seen him in other stuff that I've enjoyed, so I'm all in.
Yeah. Wendigo and Hunter Dunbar as a mountain man. Man, the December 27th.
Okay. Weird,
All right.
weird time to release it, but I'll take it.
It's a fun
Sure.
holiday movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right after Nosferatu.
Yes, there you go. And that's it for the trailers.
All right, on to listener feedback. This week we shine the podcast spotlight on Kevin Lane's Spill Your Guts cast. Kevin Lane's Spill Your Guts is a horror culture podcast featuring influential and up-and-coming talent in the genre. You're the fly on the wall to the most wide-ranging and entertaining conversations between horror culture's recognized titans of terror and genre expert and film director Kevin Lane.
All right.
Nice. Check that out. Spill Your Guts cast. I like it. Let's see. We got My Name is Daryl Hall, and I'm a co-producer. I wanted to see if there was any interest in promoting our horror movie. We're crowdfunding. We're doing a launch on July 23rd and want to get the word out as much as possible. It's a horror short named Mermaids, at Mermaids on Film on Instagram, exploring the fire of youth and female desire.
Here we go, Marcy. This is
Yeah.
what I was referring to.
Two young, that's not what I expected. Two young women exploring their sexuality in the underground New York City party scene, transform into tentacular monsters.
Tentacular.
I guess. Fuck, what is that? Not even sure it's a word.
Is it hentai? Is that what you mean?
I guess so. When they get
All
aroused,
right.
they turn into these monsters. Mayhem ensues. Personally, I'm beyond excited to be involved with this project, as I believe women should be empowered to be themselves without worrying about the judgment of others, especially when they turn into tentacular monsters. There are many very talented women and queer folk working on the project. I'm honored to be part of the journey. If you would be interested in doing a guest podcast with Adriana Vicoili, I'm sorry, probably really fucked that up, at Adrian AVECC on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll reach out.
Yeah, our writer,
Sounds like fun.
our writer director, that would be a huge help, and I can connect y'all. Best Daryl Hall, co-producer of Mermaids, a psychedelic
Only-
horror short.
Only if John Oates shows up as well, right?
Yeah, we get Hall and Oates.
No, it sounds like an interesting project.
Yeah, like species.
Mermaids and tentacles. I have no idea what's going on.
That's right.
But there's
Like
something about women,
something's
and
fishy.
I actually have no idea.
Is this Mermaids or Ursula?
I'm
Regarding
Good point.
Regarding an image from Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Jeff Farley says, those were my hands in the shot. Oh, look at that. Way to go, Jeff Farley, the hand model. In regards to Friday the 13th, Part 3, behind the scenes, Toby Hampton says that's the same lady that played the crazy wife in Police Academy that was chasing Fakler, and she had the same rollers in her hair and a nightgown.
Oh God.
I hadn't seen Police Academy forever.
Can you confirm that Bede is a Friday the 13th film series expert?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
'Cause I didn't get a chance to see the photo, so I did. So I'm gonna say yes. Yes, it is.
I'll allow it. In regards to our recognition of top engagers on Facebook page, let's see. We got Sissy Lemaire. Heck yes, I love your content and what you're all about.
Nice.
Christina Rizzuto says you're welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. We got Poltergeist behind the scenes. Don Lowry says the fact that real corpses were used is a real crazy fact. That it is. The movie had some of the weirdest occurrences and odd happenings to cast members. There's quite a lot of stories, and it's much like the way The Exorcist had all of these odd and very coincidental occurrences or accidents, etc. The poor actors didn't know they were real corpses, so in the pool in the backyard, she's with actual bodies. Nasty.
Nasty.
I guess it was cheaper than buying fake ones. Was the story behind that? Yeah. No, that's what it was. It was cheaper.
Was it?
Yeah, it was cheaper to get the like cadaver bodies or whatever than it was to buy fake skeletons and shit.
First.
That's what happens when you whatever you call it, give your body to science. It goes to some weird movie production as a body.
Donate your organs to make a movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. In regards to the Toxic Avenger remake.
Oh, I think I left this one off news. This posting was about, I guess apparently they said the movie is too out there.
Uh-oh.
And is not
imagine
releasable in theaters.
Oh, no.
This sounds so stupid. Just release the movie.
Yeah.
Let people fucking decide. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, put it on Shudder or Screenbox or Tubi or something like that. Yeah.
To be fair.
Joseph Nichols says for a Toxic Avenger remake, if it wasn't too out there for mainstream theaters, they wouldn't be doing it right. Also
there
true.
There you go.
In regards to The Witch, I thought it was one of the best I've seen in a very long time. The boy should have been awarded for his for his performance. Yeah.
I forgot to put down the name of who said that, huh?
Someone said it.
Sorry.
Maybe it was Robert Eggers that wrote that one.
Richard Stone says, I kind of dismiss any review that asks the question, who asked for this art? That's not how art works. Also true.
Fair enough.
And that's it for listener feedback this week. Intro and logos come from Steve Carlton from The Geeks. Be on the lookout for some more great stuff from him. And, of course, our original skull artwork comes from Natsulani. Check her out on Instagram. And help us out by going to Patreon, and being a patron. You know what I mean.
Whatever, right?
You can pick the movies for a future show at any amount, whatever movies you want to. And for $5 or more a month, also pick a commentary for a future bonus show. And I guess we're still doing it. If you join at the $5 tier and stay with us at least 3 months, you also get 6 koozies, a t-shirt, and a pop figurine of our choice based on your email that you send to us.
Nerellan got his t-shirt today. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, featured attractions. Cage Rage, part whatever number we're on. We're going to talk about Arcadian and Longlegs. We'll start with Arcadian from 2024. A father and his twin teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the world. Director is Benjamin Brewer, also known for the visual effects on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Writers Mike Nealon, almost got me, also known for Braven. In preparation for the movie, Nick Cage isolated himself with his family for 3 months. Of course he did. Why the fuck would you not? Bede, you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, I was very curious about this one, given like I was reading the premise and I thought, okay, this kind of sounds like it has a bit of a Quiet Place type of vibe
Yeah.
to it. And so, but it has Nick Cage and also Jada Martell, who are both really good actors. So I was very curious to see how this one would turn out. And I got to admit, yeah, I wasn't really big on this one, to be honest. Like, I think the performances are all pretty solid. And I think there's some interesting ideas in there. And I think the monsters that are featured in the film are very unique and just absolutely insane. And
Yeah.
having read what they were inspired by, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense why they look the way they look. But
What
I
are they
think,
inspired by?
well, from what I was reading, apparently the director said that the design of the monsters was based on Goofy.
I'll buy
But not
it.
just Goofy, but in in the movie, a Goofy movie, in the dream sequence when Max has a dream that he's turning into Goofy. He said that was like these monsters are like that in between Max turning into Goofy. That's how he
That
described.
actually kind of checks out.
What a weird thing.
Well, I mean, it's creative and new, and I mean, I've never seen monsters like this in a film before. And when they do show up, like, I was legit when, like, the scene where Jaden Martell, he's pretending to be asleep, and then you see the creature's arm go, like, open up the window, and it's going through, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then it just extends and extends and extends, and then it's like claw starts extending as well. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, there's great little moments like that, but I feel like I think sort of if I had to name this movie, should have been titled A Quiet Cage, because that's what pretty much the movie essentially is. It feels like it's trying to go with that same type of vibe and tone and story of A Quiet Place, but it doesn't really quite work because the apocalyptic angle isn't really explored all that much. And also I feel like the filmmaking was another reason why I just didn't get on board with this one, because the use of shaky cam was like really, really bad in this film. And it just really took me out of the film a lot, where to the point where you could barely see what was going on
Mm.
in some scenes. But yeah, I mean, the performances are all solid. Nick Cage is giving a much more subdued performance, and he works well at that. Although I got to say though, it really is more his teenage sons who are more of the leads, because he's in it. Cage is in it for the first 2/3, then he gets injured, and then he's kind of sidelined for the rest of the film until the end.
I feel
So
like spending 3 months in solitude with your family for 20 minutes of screen time in a movie was probably a bit overboard.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. So yeah, I just didn't really. I mean, other than the performances and the creatures, yeah, I didn't really get much out of this one. Sadly, to me, I just found it a bit of a bore for most part.
Mm.
All right. Marcy.
Yeah, I probably got a little bit more out of it than Bede, but like I actually haven't seen any Quiet Place films.
Oh.
Yeah, who's the real terrible Australian? It
Let's
might
see,
be
you
me
got
because I
some-
don't watch a lot of new stuff, it seems. So I can't really compare it to that at all. It is sort of a more subdued film. Like, it was interesting to start with because you understanding this is sort of like a weird post-apocalyptic environment, and there's a man with his sons, and you don't really know what's actually out there. But I think I wouldn't say it's a bore. I would say it's just not paced very well, and
Yeah.
it doesn't do a lot of actual world building because we don't really know what the hell has actually happened, why the world is the way it is, why certain things happen. We obviously find out in due time that there's like night creatures, which is why they have to not be out when it's dark. So okay, that makes sense. But I think the world around it doesn't get explored enough. And while Mr. Cage does give a pretty good performance. It, as Bede said, it is a film for the younger actors to really shine, and I think they did really good. I think it's just a lot of what surrounds the film that lets it down. It might perhaps be a little too quiet, not enough world building or intrigue. I think the ending was interesting-ish. It sort of felt like it rushes anytime there's action and then takes too long on anything else, so it's just very uneven. That said, again, yeah, the creature design and what they look like, everything is really impressive and definitely the highlight of the film. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag because I don't think it quite achieves much. It does kind of open itself up to explore the world a bit more with how it ends, but I don't know if it gave us enough to really care.
Yeah, good point. Brian?
Yeah, I thought the acting was solid. The creatures looked super cool and different, but I had a lot of issues with this movie. I thought the story was a little here and there.
Yeah.
Are we about to break, Lance?
What's so funny?
It's just Brian is trying so hard to be polite and kind.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one time. I'm never gonna call a film garbage or trash because I do not make films. I try to find
Fair
the
enough.
positive because
Yeah.
I think people find it more
Definitely.
easily to trash films. I didn't hate this movie. I just thought the storytelling was just kind of like we get introduced to Nick Cage and he has his two young sons, and then we just completely jump to when they're teenagers. We get no explanation on what happened in this world, where these creatures come from. And at times, even with him and his sons, there was a part of the movie where I felt like maybe Jaden Martell wasn't his son, the way he treated him. And then that completely just went away midway through the movie.
Kind of uneven, huh?
And as far as the sons, I thought they did a solid job acting. It's just I had nothing connect to them. I got nothing from them, or what's I'm assuming the older one had I don't even know if we're doing spoilers. Are we doing spoilers?
I think we're spoiler alert, right? Because it's a new movie,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we gotta wait, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just situations where they act a certain way, and I got nothing to go off of where it came from, so I don't know which one to connect with more, or even when they get into situations, am I even rooting for them? So, yeah, I mean, I'll just wait till spoilers. But I thought the creature design was super cool. I did have issues with the CGI in certain spots.
Yeah. It was very transformery. Like shit was moving too fast.
Yeah,
But
the sort of shaky cam and quickness of of anything that had action just didn't just doesn't work for me. Like, you need to be able to see this after you have like long shots of looking at almost nothing. Like, why are you speeding through the action?
Yeah, I mean, something like that works with like the Bourne Identity because you're doing close up hand to hand. It makes you feel like you're in there. But I agree, Marcy, with this kind of action, it didn't need the shaky cam. So, yeah, I didn't hate it, but I definitely I did come out disappointed in this one. And not enough Cage too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Lance?
What started all this silly subgenre? Was It Comes at Night? I think the one with Joel Edgerton in it that I hated so much.
But
where nothing happened. Nothing came at night because nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
So we had It Came at Night, and then we had the Bird Box movies, right? And then we had, as Bede mentioned, the Quiet Place movies, right? And now we've got this, right? And how long are we going to do this crap, guys? I mean, did this all start with The Road by Cormac McCarthy or what? What?
You say it's a silly genre, but you rated all those movies except for It Comes at Night very high.
That's true.
Point.
Well, I'm going to rate this one pretty low. How about that, Brian? This one bored me to tears, man. This was not good. This was not good. And Nick Cage just, I needed more Nick Cage. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I needed more Nick Cage, and the boys just irritated the fuck out of me. And there was one thing that happened where one boy was allowed to do something, but the other wasn't. I'm like, are they trying to do like a prearranged marriage? Or are they trying to make sure that he propagates the species? So they're bringing him in as like cattle, like the bull. What the fuck is going on here? They didn't explain shit in this movie.
Not really.
That's the problem. They didn't explain how they got there. I absolutely hated the creature design, guys. I'm sorry. You guys think it was, you said CGI-ish, but you guys thought it was intimidating, or would you?
It was just unique. Like,
Was
I've
it?
never seen creatures like that at all in another film.
I haven't either. I guess they
Monster
were just
Goofy.
trying to do something different.
And you're
I thought they
snapping
looked
jaws.
different and unique. I don't think they don't
Okay.
necessarily scare
You're
me.
gonna
or
knock them for being
like
unique,
how they
Lance?
look.
I'm gonna knock him for being a creature that looked like a silly fucking Scooby-Doo cartoon to me. That's what I'm gonna knock him for. And what was the scene where the one boy was sitting in a chair in a room, and this finger starts like stretching out?
So you
Was
already
that just
missed
in
half
his
of this
mind?
conversation, Lance. We'd
Okay,
already covered
well.
this when you were gone.
All right, I know. My wife started getting a leg cramp again, and I had to go get her some more pickle juice. But speaking of pickle juice, after watching this movie, all right, enough. I got to save the rest for spoilers because I've got questions. I've got questions, and you guys may have answers.
I doubt it. I don't think this movie explained enough to provide any answers.
There's no world building, so we definitely don't have any answers.
Well, and the problem with that is I kind of didn't really care about anybody. So
Not in the least. Not even Nick Cage.
Village is
That's
getting
impossible not to
mauled
care
to
about
death,
Nick
and
Cage.
I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Am I supposed to
Right.
care about them because they were
Yeah.
kind of being assholes?
You got old Farmer Brown and Farmer Johnson and Farmer Lane, and
Yeah,
the fuck are we in, like the middle of Kansas, or what's going on here?
yeah. I don't know what it was. The creature was definitely unique. My biggest problem with it was the CGI stuff. Like when they started moving really fast, like I kind of
It's pretty CGI.
like I wanted to see some details on the thing. I mean, if you're gonna CGI it, that's fine. But I mean, if it's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, all you're doing is covering up bad stuff.
Yeah, I think it was a cool concept. It just they just didn't do it proper.
And there's
I agree. Didn't
there's
execute
a
quite right.
bird. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like this big bill and it'll snap its beak like that. So I think that's probably where they pulled that from. And it's kind of insane and scary sounding if you see it. Like I looked up a video of it. I get into some weird shit. but and the bird's pretty terrifying looking on top of it. Yeah, no, I didn't hate it. I liked it. It was a fun, like, futuristic horror movie, right? I like that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was everything Marcy said. It was kind of, the pacing was weird. They didn't really explain anything, and so I didn't really give me much to care about.
Are you thinking of a dodo bird?
Maybe.
Could be.
The ones that don't fly?
No, it's not a dodo. It's maybe some type of dodo. It's real big. It's like fucking 6 feet tall, and it's got this giant.
No, Philip.
Yeah,
You're
no,
making
I'm
this
telling
shit
you,
up, dude.
it's a real bird. I can't remember the name of it. I'll figure it
You
out.
didn't hear about this on the Alex? You heard about this on the Alex Jones podcast, or what?
Joe Rogan.
I think I know what you're talking about, Phil. Like it looks evil. That's what I just remember. It looks very evil.
It's a weird looking thing, man.
Okay.
It does. It's like a big giant dodo bird, though. It's crazy.
I'm
Is
gonna
it
look
a
this
real
bird
bird or is
Hey.
it a movie
Yeah.
bird?
No, it's a real.
Oh,
bird.
okay. Oh, okay. I think I found it. It's a shoebill bird.
There it is. Yeah.
What?
It's
shoebill
shoe
bird.
bill.
Shoebill.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
We have
Huh.
gone off topic.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean-
it may be scarier than the movie was.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
It looks
scores.
like it. There's the photos of this bird. It just looks like I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what the
Yes.
look it's like has in every photo.
Sounds
Also
like
known
Marcy
as
the
the
bird.
whale-headed
Huh?
stork.
What's it called?
A shoebill
Shoebill.
bird.
Also known as a
Like-
whale-headed
like a
stork.
Shoe that you wear, or shoe flying?
Yeah, no, it's like a shoe that you
Shoe
wear.
bill.
Birds never have really good names.
Field
Okay.
bird.
That's definitely what they were thinking of when they created these creatures. Okay, I'm with
Oh
you now.
yeah, that fucking
I
thing.
gotcha.
They're not.
And I'll bet they're
Yeah,
in
that's like
Australia.
Marcy the bird. I'm gonna fuck you up, dickhead.
Yeah, my guess is that they would be in Australia.
I
East
think they are.
Africa.
East
That'd
Africa.
probably be a good guess.
All right.
Where was it, Brian?
East
Or
Africa.
Florida.
East Africa. Okay,
Wow.
well that makes
Okay.
as much sense.
Sure.
All right, Bede, what do you think about scores?
I'm big out of 10. I'm going to give it about a 4 out of 10. Like, as I sort of stated before, I think the monster design is pretty interesting and unique, and I think the performances are all pretty solid. But like we kind of
Yeah.
already said before, the world building isn't really particularly well done. Like, I remember one aspect of the film it doesn't even go into is like pretty much like Nick Cage and his sons. They get harassed by creatures every night, but that farmhouse that has the teenage girl that one of the sons is in love with, they sort of state in the film that none of the creatures ever attack their farm. And I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah.
how does that work? It never really explains it. And
Yeah.
also the filmmaking wise, I think even though it does have some pretty good shots and style every now and again, but yeah, but it's the shaky cam that kind of really stops the film from being more compelling than it needed to be. So yeah, 4 out of 10 for me.
All right, Marcy.
I give it 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Six
Okay.
out of 10 with like, I think there's a lot of good stuff that is in there. It just doesn't quite achieve it.
Right. It's almost
And yeah, I think it's on the verge of being something a lot better. But again, for the issues we've already discussed, there's no world building. We can't see what's going on half the time.
Yeah.
Because there's
Very
not enough
dark
world
movie.
building and it's paced so weirdly, we don't really get to know the characters or the world as we should. Yeah,
and there's no
average-ish
cage rage.
movie,
Yeah, and there's no cage rage.
and barely enough Cage
hell?
as well.
Not even when he said, "Are we not men?"
I
That
know,
was his big scene,
right?
Brian. Brian promised me that was going to be his big scene. Brian swore to me on a Bible that once he said, "Are we not men?" that he was going to go into full rage. Brian, why would you do that to me, man?
When did I do this? You saw the movie before I
You
did.
guys heard it. It's permanently recorded. It's on one of our episodes. Brian said, "Oh, just think about it, guys. What if when he slams the table and says, 'Are we not men?' he goes into full Cage rage." You had me. I was pumped, dude.
I'm getting old. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Brian, what'd you think about scores?
I'm right there in between Marcy and B. This is a 5. Just not enough to build off of, but there was a lot of good ideas in here. It just wasn't fleshed out enough for me. So I'm at a 5.
All right, Lance.
I
Oh
got,
man,
I gotta go 2. I gotta go 2 on this one. This is rough. First of all, you literally have 4 minutes and 37 seconds of Nicolas Cage in the movie. That's a problem. That's a big fucking problem.
4
When it's a
minutes.
Nick Cage
As the
vehicle.
young people say, that's cap. That's lying. You're lying. He was in the movie more than 4 minutes.
Well, I missed him.
Lance,
I
I
did
think you might have
see-
I think you did a beat and fell asleep during half this movie and woke up.
I don't know, or maybe I got bit by a shoebill bird, but holy shit. Man, that was some of the worst CGI that I've seen since somebody mentioned it, Transformers. Really bad.
Oh, come
man.
on.
Really bad. No, I mean, when it's moving that fast, like Philip said, it's almost like they're trying to cover up the mistakes of the bad CGI. I've seen CGI fire better than this movie.
What movie?
This was bad. This was really, really, really bad. And I mean, the two boys, I fucking hated them. I could have thrown either one of them into a fucking pit. and let the fucking dodo birds eat him or whatever. This was terrible. Every character in this movie to me was hateable, except Nicolas Cage, of course. Other than him, who was incapacitated through most of the movie. Spoiler alert. Sorry, said that a little too early. But I mean, holy smokes, man! I got to get people to decide not to watch this movie. I was so mad. I was so pissed off. I think what got me is when we were at that dinner table scene and Nicolas Cage slammed his hand down and did not go into a rage and just kept us calm. And I'm like,
Yeah, he was playing it totally straight. I'm like, that's not
Too straight.
why we hired you.
I'm sorry. This is going to be on my bottom list, man. This was not good. Not good at all.
Honestly, I felt like if he would have went full Cage rage during that scene, I think he would have knocked him for it.
You think
It
so?
wouldn't have really have fit the movie.
Hmm.
Well, until the monsters show up and they're a little cage ragey.
They're more cage rage than cages. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
What a lot of people don't realize, I actually did play the goofy monster in this movie.
That's what it was.
I would have rather just went.
And I played the version that just slept through most of the movie.
That was actually Nick Cage clanking his teeth together.
I was dreaming of all the insane performances I'm giving in other universes and other movies.
Oy, oy, oy.
Phil?
Anyways,
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
I think it was.
Sure.
They had a good idea going, and
Okay. How do you know? What was the story? What
well,
happened?
just
Why
the-
were they
the
there?
se- I
Why
don't
were
know,
the
but
why were the dodo birds there?
the setting of the movie, I think, was cool.
But why were the
like-
dodo birds there, Philip?
I don't know, alien invasion maybe.
Maybe,
something-
but how do we know that? What evidence is there that that's what it was?
I know, and that's
we had that the beginning where Nicolas Cage is running through the city and there's this like chaos going around, and then they have like that shot of the sky, and I think it looked like a UFO.
Okay.
So there was-
all right.
okay.
Well,
Yeah, see, and I didn't even
There
catch
you
that
go.
part. I didn't realize there were even monsters until halfway through the movie.
Hmm.
When
took a while, didn't
stuck
it?
its hand in there. Yeah, it took it
Took
a
a
while to
while.
get going, and it didn't do enough building while it was doing that. But I think there was a good movie in here somewhere. Had they changed a few little aspects of it, it could have been really good. All right, spoilers. Brian,
What's
you-
there
I'd
really to
love
spoil
for-
though? It's
I
like
was gonna say, I would
Well,
love for somebody to spoil this for me. because
Bede
I
brought
don't
up
even know
something
what was
that I
going
wanted
on.
to bring up. How you
What's
said the other farm was not affected,
Mm.
or said
Oh,
they
yeah.
weren't affected. That's where the storytelling just kind of got wonky for me because
Yeah.
Why?
mm.
well, I'm about to get into it, Lance. At the main farm of Nicolas Cage, they get attacked every night, and eventually they find out that they start digging through the floor because they figure out they can't get in through the doors and windows.
Okay.
They do the same thing at the other farm. So did they just completely skip over attacking and just went straight to digging?
I can't
Yes.
remember, but was the house like lit up or anything? Or could it be just the location of where it was that maybe they tunneled in
Okay.
more towards
Now-
that house? Like, there's no real explanation except we
Right.
understand they digging underneath. But I'm thinking in terms of like, say Minecraft, if you light up your house a lot, you shouldn't get like the monsters breaking in. Is it something like that? I don't know because I don't fucking remember if the house was lit up.
Yeah.
also, why
So
can they
maybe
get,
the
why can they
maybe the
get through the
filmmaker
floor?
played a lot of Minecraft or
Maybe.
Gorilla Tag, Philip.
Yeah, there you go. Why can they get through the floor but not the doors or windows?
Can't figure out doors.
I guess
I
not,
don't know.
but they can tear up.
And I had issue with the family at the other farm. Just the way they were like,
Lots of issues.
they had no idea why this boy was coming to their farm. Because when he catches them kissing, he's like so shocked
Yeah.
at what's going on.
You put them in a room together. What did you think was going to happen?
See, that's what I thought. I thought they were bringing him up to breed him with the girl.
Well,
You know what
it
I'm saying?
seemed like
That's why
Nick
they let just him in there.
seemed like Nick Cage wasn't even 100% sure on why he was going to this farm all the time.
It did seem that way, didn't it?
I think I assume they had
What a
some sort of
mess.
trade agreement or something, but
But trade his the son's semen for what? I mean, come on, man.
Nothing is actually really explained, and that
I mean,
is
if
the
we
fundamental issue with this
Oh,
film.
Okay, in all fairness, Marcy, if we rewatched this movie and like did a commentary together, do you think we would get more out of it on second viewing?
Probably not.
Okay.
I think maybe we would, because I think we would actually be
Okay.
looking. Because I
That's
didn't
what
even.
I'm thinking.
He brought up them possibly seeing something in the sky in the beginning. I didn't even notice that at all.
I think Bede made it up because I didn't notice it either.
I was about to say they hit that pretty well, didn't they?
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not saying what I'm saying is true, but it looked like a UFO.
I mean,
I guess
that's
you
the only
guys
thing
are
that
right.
makes sense.
Not much to spoil here. Nicolas Cage laying in a bed like with cuts all over him for an hour. Okay,
Oh,
sign me up.
he
And
doesn't even go
that
Cage
is-
rage when he gets badass.
Yeah, that ending was a perfect time for Cage Rage.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Like
And it
one,
never
just
materialized.
just give me one crazy yell before
Yeah.
you explode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Longlegs. In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end this terrifying killing spree. Director and writer is Oz Perkins, also known for The Pretty Little Thing That Lives in the House and The Blackcoat's Daughter. Despite the praise and acclaim of his portrayal as Longlegs, Nick Cage has stated this will be his first and only portrayal of a serial killer for a film. In an interview with IndieWire, Cage says, I know that the phone's going to be ringing off the hook to play serial killers after I do Longlegs, and that's not really what I like to do. I don't like violence. I don't want to play people who are hurting people.
says Dracula. Okay.
Yeah. Longlegs quotes the poem Satan Says by Sharon Olds in his messages. The poem is about a girl locked in a cedar box being told by Satan that he can get her out if she blasphemes against her family. She does so, but Satan then seals her in the box and leaves her there.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good piece of trivia. Bede, what'd you think about Longlegs?
Well, other than accidentally falling asleep during the course of the movie, which I did on the first view, I decided, you know what, I need to go back and see the film. So I went back and watched it a second time without falling asleep. And luckily I did it.
Are we sure?
I did
Are we
it.
sure?
I am very sure.
I believe you.
Okay, maybe I might have just had my eyes were getting a little well, starting to at one point, but I resisted the urge.
Okay.
But that being said, though, I don't think this is like I think it's a really good movie. Like overall, like I would say it's along the lines of something like the films that it's definitely influenced by, like Silence of the Lambs or Severed or Cure or anything like that. But I do think it's still a pretty solid supernatural serial killer film. And I like the fact that for most of it, it's very grounded in its approach to its story while sprinkling all these weird elements in there and then eventually going full-blown supernatural in the last half. And I think it has some pretty interesting ideas and concepts that it explores. And I like the fact that in a way you could kind of see this movie as being a companion piece to The Blackcoat's Daughter, because it has kind of very similar elements to that one as well. And I think the performances are all pretty strong. I think Micah Monroe does a great job in the film. And Nicolas Cage, even though he kind of looks like a mix of like Mickey Rourke and Miss Piggy in this film with his makeup design.
Nailed it.
He is pretty creepy, and also like the rest of the performances are great. I think the one I was very most impressed by was Alicia Witt, who played Micah Monroe's character's mum. I thought she was really, really
Okay.
good. It has some great bit of atmosphere. It's unsettling. And I think it's just a pretty solid little movie. Like, I would say it's an amazing movie by any means, but I think for what it is, I think it is still a pretty damn good one.
Okay. Marcy?
I love this film. This is the thing, like when I saw well, I think The Blackcoat's Daughter is the only other Oz Perkins directed film I've seen. And watching that film felt like it was very much like geared towards me. So again, Longlegs feels like it's very much geared towards me, with how it kind of goes along with its story, and the characters and what happens. It reveals itself in weird ways, and it comes at you with a bit of a shock, as well. And yeah, Nicolas Cage is great. Like, absolutely, just one of these just very memorable performances. And his like makeup as Longlegs, it is the remnants of Mickey Rourke's face with the remnants of Donatella Versace's face.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
God.
nuts. It's nuts. It's like, I'm glad that the marketing didn't really reveal him at all. So
Yeah.
when you do see him fully, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But I like that we sort of have this thing where he's a serial killer, but then is he really a serial killer? Because as the things go through, like, things are kind of questioned as to how things are done. So I really, really liked that. So we get this very mysterious story. And again, Micah Monroe is a fantastic actress. She's fantastic in this. She can play Freddy Krueger. She can play against Freddy Krueger. Do something. That sounds a lot of fun. And again, Alicia Witt is an absolute standout. Give her a fucking Urban Legends movie, please. But yeah, it just sort of
She plays
like,
creepy well.
yeah, like Bede said, it sort of is more grounded to start with, but then it creeps into the more
Mhm.
supernatural stuff. And I really liked it. Like, I feel like Oz Perkins is out there probably just making films that appeal to me. That said, I definitely need to check out his other works, but it still blows my mind that Oz Perkins was the nerdy guy in fucking Legally Blonde. Like, what? Wow. But yeah, I appreciate a really just strange, slow burn, messed up kind of movie. And I'll be right back because my dog has to go to the toilet and he's barking at the door.
No problem. That's been driving me nuts this whole goddamn time. Brian, what'd you think?
I really enjoyed this one also. I didn't know there was no supernatural elements to this movie, which it was a big, pleasant surprise to me. I thought this was a straightforward, grounded serial killer detective or FBI movie.
Yeah.
I thought the performances were great. Micah Monroe, I probably liked her. I can't tell you one thing I've not liked her in that I've seen. Alicia Witt. The only thing that I didn't even know that was her when I seen her in the role,
Yeah,
which was
did a
a
good job.
testament to how she played the role. Because I only know her from Urban Legend and a couple episodes she did in The Sopranos, which she kind of played the character the same way. Which in Urban Legend, she's probably to me the least likable character. And seeing her do this role the way she did, yeah, I would like to see you come back and do something else.
Yeah. She's like really pretty, but like an annoying kind of way.
Okay.
Another standout
Sure.
role that I thought was pretty good as supporting role was Blair Underwood as the.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't know.
Perfect.
He was
Perfect for who he was playing, man.
head FBI guy.
Oh,
I
that
don't
guy.
know.
Yeah.
Thought that was well done. I thought all the promotion for this movie was excellent. How we didn't really get to see Nick Cage's face until we saw the movie, and you didn't even get to see his face right away. You just got glimpses, and they would cut away.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, pleasantly surprised. I was a little worried this movie was going to get a little overhyped, like
Yes,
kind of violent
that was a
nature
concern for me too.
was a
yeah.
little overhyped for me.
Yes, exactly.
But I liked it. I really did.
All right, Lance, what do you think?
I was a little bit irritated when this movie started out, right? Because it showed this little tiny red square, like where the credits and stuff like that were showing, and then it's like, okay, cool, that's kind of neat, visually impactful, a little red square in the middle of the big screen in the movie theater, and then they fucking stayed there. It's like, really? Like, you've got this little teeny square when you've got a whole screen to work with. And then as you get into the part where the first scene of the movie, which kind of sets it all up, sort of gets you where you need to be and you understand because it was sort of retro. The movie itself was set in a retro time period, and this was even like a jump back in time from that, like when a certain character was younger. So I'm like, I kind of see why they did it that way. It was kind of like an old 8mm video or something like that. Speaking of 8mm, Nick Cage, right? So I thought it was pretty cool the way they did that. And then, the screen slowly got bigger as it went through the main credits and went into the film itself. So I'm going to say that I really adored this movie, man. This was, I don't know. This was kind of like a master class in acting. I guess Oz Perkins is like really, 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 really good. I see him as kind of being like an Ari Aster, in that it seems like he can bring out the best performances from everybody who's in a movie. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Brian, you said you've really never seen Micah Monroe in anything you didn't like her in. I would differ a little bit, because like that one where she was in like Budapest or whatever, like in that apartment, and that weird dude was following her. And it was real predictable. It looked like a Hitchcock type movie.
Yeah, the Watcher.
The Watcher, not a great.
Yeah, well, we talked about that.
Me.
Was it her performance, or was it the movie?
I get your point. I get your point. I'm going to tell you right now, she was pure fucking genius in this movie. The way that she was sitting on the bed in that one scene where the daughter was said, "Do you want to see my trophies? You want to see my room?" And she was like just sitting there like. And then she would sort of talk, and she's definitely like somehow on the spectrum, or something weird is going on.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Totally. And Blair Underwood was perfect for what the role that he was at. Hell, even the little young teenage girl at the hardware store that had like less. She had more screen time than Nick Cage and Arcadian, but not that much screen time, right? Even she was great, man. Yeah. That was just that perfect fucking deadpan delivery. And then Dad, the weird dude's here again, and just, Nicolas Cage was amazing, absolutely fucking amazing. This was, I don't know, I'm gonna say this is his best performance that I've seen in several years. I really loved it. Yeah, was the makeup a little over the top? Maybe, but it was kind of. I love that first scene where you could only kind of see his chin and not anything above it. I kind of wish they'd stuck with that a bit, but you know what? No movie's perfect. I got a lot out of this one. The scenery and the atmosphere. This is the first movie I've seen in a while that made me literally sick to my stomach in certain scenes, because it was so fucking creepy. And the camera work threw you off so much. Like there was one scene where a certain character woke up and like they were upside down, right? Like the camera was tilted upside down. And you're like, where the fuck are we? What's going on? And then you're in one place where I thought we were at this other layer, but it comes to find out I'm part of this other place that I'm at. And like you guys said, the acting from the mother was just fucking top notch, man. Chef's kiss type acting. I don't know what Oz Perkins did to get these kind of performances out of these people, but for fuck's sake, it worked for me. And the camera work was gorgeous. The movie lost me a little bit in the third act, and we'll go into that later. But you are right, Bede and Marcey. You guys both nailed it. It started out as just a regular procedural, Silence of the Lambs 7 type movie, and then it turned into something different. But I went with it. I kind of enjoyed what it did. I liked it. And I can tell you right now, I haven't been this creeped out with satanic talk and satanic imagery in a movie in a long time. Because you see a lot of the shit.
I wouldn't say creeped me out, because I don't think things creep me out. maybe a little uneasy, and I think uneasy is just how some of the scenes played out, but I wasn't like
Mhm.
scared. But and I should also add,
I was kind of
saw
scared.
this
I
film, saw
really
this film
was.
really high and on edibles, and I managed to be fine. So there you go.
That might have helped me.
It does.
No,
it
I
helps focus on that sucker, man. I did the same thing.
we got to move on because I could talk about this movie for a long time. I really enjoyed it.
We'll get there in some spoiler talk. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it looked like if like Quentin Tarantino was trying to direct a horror movie but without the comedy, right? It actually felt a lot like the first season of True Detective to me. Like they had that sort of feel.
Okay.
And then it got a little more supernatural, and I actually really enjoyed that. Nick Cage, if you didn't get enough Cage rage from the last one, here it is. It's not quite Mandy level.
A tale of two cages.
Oh, you definitely, especially that scene. It's not really a spoiler. When he leaves that little store.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he
Oh
does
yeah.
he does the scream I wanted in Arcadian in this
Yes.
movie.
Yeah. Now that's Cage rage. It was okay. So I know Nick Cage is supposed to be really creepy and weird, and I think he really knocked it out of the park. But having that character be Nick Cage almost took me out of it a little bit because he was
Really?
like so over the top.
A little
Which-
cagey.
Is not necessarily a bad thing, but I was kind of waffling
Sure.
back and forth on it because every time he showed up, I'm like, I don't know if this matches the feel of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing,
Understood.
though. Like his performance as Longlegs, I think it's probably the closest we're ever going to see Nick Cage play the Joker in a
Yeah.
movie, because that's
That's
what it kind of
exactly
reminded
what it
me of.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
Very
Um,
chaotic, right? Chaotic.
yeah.
Chaotic evil.
I didn't hate it. It's my only like sort of like waffly criticism, I guess. That's not really a good way to explain that, but you get it.
Oh, it is. I got you.
But yeah, I do think it was a pretty great film, even just as a straight up suspense thriller movie where they're tracking down all the little clues is a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And yeah, Micah Monroe, she played it so great. Like I loved the way that she pulled that role off, and then once it explains why, it makes it even better because then it sort of changes. But
Mhm.
we'll get into that.
Yep.
All right, scores, Bede.
I'm going to give this about an 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty atmospheric and unsettling little film that's full of great performances. And I like that it sort of gradually, with the story and its supernatural elements, I like it that it's gradually kind of seeps in as it goes on. And also, one of the things I find interesting as well is like if you look very closely in the background of a lot of scenes, some more noticeable than others, that the devil is actually in the background of certain scenes, which
I
yes.
definitely picked up seeing things, and I'm like, oh.
I don't think
Yeah,
Lots of that.
they just I think released a trailer, a little featurette online where you can, if you've already seen the movie, of course, it points out where I think it was like 6 times the devil appears.
This is
Yes.
definitely a movie I want to watch again.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it is. Actually,
Absolutely.
having watched this film twice, I can tell you one thing, and we're going to go in the spoilers in a second. Rewatching the film again, there's a lot of foreshadowing or throughout
Is
this
there?
film. Yeah, because it really kind of, especially in the interview scene between Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage, there's a lot of like little hints. You're like on a second viewing, like, oh, I see what he's talking about in regards to where the film goes in the third act.
Okay.
All right, Marcy. Wait.
Yeah, this gets
Whoop, whoop.
9 Hail Satans out of 10. I think it's a fantastic film.
Awesome.
Oz Perkins, keep making films that appeal to me. I will enjoy that very much. So, but yes, people should see Longlegs. It was fantastic.
9 out of 10. B, what was your score?
Oh, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay. All right.
I actually thought yours was going to be lower, and I thought, oh, geez, you're going to get punched out with a low score.
Well, to be fair,
to be fair, on that first viewing, I didn't
give it any rating because I fell asleep through some of this. Maybe I need to watch it again before I give it a proper rating.
Yeah, you're such a dick.
Brian, what do you think?
Right now, I do want to watch it again, but right now I'm at an 8.5. I thought the acting was solid. The music, I don't think we even talked about the music. It just added to the atmosphere of the movie. Lance, you brought up the cinematography. The shots were beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do, I hear what you're saying, Phil, but I do think this is one of Nicolas Cage's best performances.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Lance?
There are a couple of movies that I liked more on first watch than this one, I think. But this is the one I probably want to rewatch the most. So maybe it's not fair that I'm giving it a slightly lower rating than a couple of other movies so far this year. But it's a good, solid 8 on 10. But that score could easily go up after 2 or 3 more viewings.
As long as it's higher than Night Swim.
See, and I do feel like this one has kind of a lot of rewatchability to it for being so slow.
There's so much going on, so many little details in the background.
I think you're right, because with I talked about the promotion for the movie. There was all these cryptic messages. I think there's cryptic stuff in the movie that on rewatches you'll start to see and realize more things are happening than you did the first time you watched it.
And so I feel like this one is going to kind of be one of those sleeper hits where maybe it doesn't make a ton of money in the box office, but it might become a cult classic.
It already has been a pretty good at the box office for the kind of film it is.
Yeah, for the kind of film it is. But like, I feel like it's going to get a wider audience once it like, you know, like the Big Lebowski.
Oh,
did,
for sure.
you know?
For sure.
I mean, at our screening, like, we actually were thinking, oh, we'll be able to get tickets. And then we checked and it's like, oh shit, it's almost sold out.
You know what? That's fair, because I went today, like a freaking Tuesday afternoon at 3:00. And I mean, it's a summertime in a beach town, but still, I figured I'd have pretty much the theater to myself. And there was like, you know, at least 10, 15 other people in there.
So far,
you weren't able to take your pants off, in other words.
No.
So far, it's made over $53 million off a $10 million budget.
Ooh, nice.
Well,
I like what it did there.
Look out for the sequel. Look out for the sequel. Sorry.
Longlegs 2 Electric Boogaloo.
No, I was going to say, I was going to say Longer Legs. That could be the sequel.
I hope
Longer Legs.
Yeah. At least it did better than Kevin Costner's Horizon, huh?
I don't even know what that is.
Although I feel like the movie I'm going to see tonight might make a hell of a lot more money, which is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, maybe.
Tonight?
Possibly.
Tonight you're going to go see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I know.
Comes out for a couple days.
Advanced screenings in Australia is in the future, so there you go.
Nice. That's true. Upside down and in the future. I'm gonna go 8.5 for now, I think.
Nice.
I think it's
great
really only going to go up in the future after I watch it again, because I'm kind of excited to watch it again. And part of the reason for that is Nicolas Cage. Like, he does play that character so over the top, but it's also so unique that it's that it sort of makes the movie. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, all right, spoilers. What do we got?
Lots going on in this movie.
Well, I'll bring something up. One of the big unexpected things in this film that I was genuinely shocked by is the death of Longlegs and where it happens and how it happens. He takes himself out.
Would it really work like that, though? I mean,
that's what I was thinking. I don't
could knock him unconscious first. I had a little bit of a problem with that.
He smashed his head to pieces on the desk.
He did. Hit pieces that falling off.
I did not expect like this character was just going to, well, their physical body was just going to die because he did it to himself. Like, holy shit.
I mean,
second movie tonight Not enough Nick Cage for me. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bede.
Well, I was gonna say like it's possible because he knows like split apart, so it's possible like he
Right.
bagged his nose so hard that his cartilage in his nose just went straight up into
Well,
his brain.
They say that can happen.
Like,
I think
much
Brian,
worse.
Brian, you've
Like
done
this.
that to a few people before, haven't you?
The death.
Brian's been in a couple of street fights.
Well, you realize in Con Air, Cage does this, and that
Right?
is what kills
Yeah.
the guy. Like all that goes up through his brain. That's how
Well,
he
there
kills
you
the
go.
guy and goes to jail for manslaughter or whatever it was.
Yes.
So that's what he's doing. That's how he did it.
And also,
But I
I
was
think
not expecting that at all. Like I thought,
Normally
this
kills
character's
anybody in a fight
not
that go to
living.
jail.
What's happening?
Called manslaughter.
and also let's not forget it. You probably would have been happy about this, Marcy, is that it's also kind of an evil doll movie as well.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
are
absolutely.
creepy fucking dolls that
Yeah.
it sort of helps with the all the shit going on. Like that
Mhm.
was a extra like very unsettling element when you see those dolls. I'm like, look, even if it was trying to control me, I'm still not going to go anywhere near a doll that looks like me. Get fucked out of here with that.
Yeah,
shit.
I like we got to see how these dolls affect people at the end
Mm.
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
Blair Underwood when the wife is
Oh,
like
wow. Yeah.
the wife is somewhere
Yeah.
else. She's like in an old timey sitcom. The way she's just sitting there smiling,
Mhm.
asking him, "Can you cut the cake?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll cut the fucking cake."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It had already been see, and I like the supernatural aspect of it. It gives those like suspense
sure.
crime thrillers, which I already love.
Mhm.
Like just an extra layer of stuff that I like. That's my lane, dude. Suspense, thriller, supernatural, and horror.
And Satan. And Satan.
And
Hail
Marcy, you
Satan.
brought up the Black Coat's daughter. I didn't even know Kiernan Shipka was in this movie. She plays the girl that's in the asylum that
Yes,
Mac Monroe goes and visits, and she played that role amazing.
That
Yeah.
that's another
Another
like
great
really good
performance.
scene, and again, great performances. Like to sort of trying to unravel what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just
one of
loved
those
her
really good
performance.
scenes.
Yeah, just
And the
called her what'd she
dialogue-
call her? A dirty, flirty angel bitch. I'll kill you
Oh,
right
yeah.
now if that's what he
Yep.
wanted me
That's
to.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like in the dialogue.
If he wanted me
is a
to
little
if he wanted me
crazy.
to jump out the window,
That was
I'd
some
be happy. I'd be
foreshadowing.
happy to see the ground coming up to me. I was like, whoa.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, the dialogue was a
Man.
little goofy there, but like she pulled it off. She delivered it with such confidence that it like made it work. I was like, I don't think anybody talks like that ever.
No.
And
Well,
another
you
thing
know.
I was surprised by was the inclusion that Micah Monroe's character might be clairvoyant because the FBI was testing her.
Oh yeah, she
Mm.
was
Yeah.
totally clairvoyant. That
Now-
was what started the supernatural part of the movie, right?
But was she, or was she just half-assed
She
possessed by the
was.
doll? And this was the
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
this was the
man.
plan all along.
Because but again, like with the murder thing at the start of the movie where they go, she knows it's the killer's house, like that's not related to Longlegs at all.
No, I don't think it
But then
was.
that makes me question if
Oh, that's a good
she
point.
had some kind of powers, because then that makes more sense, like why she got on their radar for that,
Mhm.
Well-
rather than just with Longlegs. So I think she does.
Maybe that's
but
why
I-
Longlegs picked her.
Yeah, I
Maybe
would
we
say
need
that's
longer
probably
legs
why,
now,
because he
like Bede
left
said.
her alive. I
Mm.
mean, obviously, because the mum did the deal, but
Yeah.
I think he left her alive for more
Yeah.
reasons than making a deal with the mum.
Mm.
Which
6
again,
days
like
away
I
from the
thought,
birthday.
oh, Alicia Witt's kind of, doing a really unrecognizable, creepy job. But then we get the twist where she's been the accomplice the whole time. And that also threw
Yeah.
me like, oh, wow. Like there were so many layers to the story that get revealed towards the third act that are like, oh, wow.
But
Yeah,
like,
that was great though. That her whole explanation and then breaking down everything, and then she just stands up and says, "Hail Satan."
oh yeah, that was
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
And let's not
I-
forget Nick Cage saying that at the very end of the movie, Bede.
Yeah, exactly. And giving
go-
a kiss as well. And also, I think what's interesting though is like with the twist, you find out that Alicia Witt was helping Longlegs the entire time. I also like the
Mhm.
fact that in a way, when it goes into that sequence where she's basically telling her story about why all this happened, like you do actually feel a lot of sympathy for the character because
Right.
the reason she did this was to protect her daughter so that she wouldn't be Longlegs' next victim or
Mhm.
for Satan. So, and then of course she reluctantly does this because let's just face it, if a guy like Longlegs came to your house and said like along the lines of, I got a doll for you from the church. You won their raffle. Why did you have this? And then started like randomly singing like songs and all that. I'd be like, get the fuck off my lawn and get away from me. But
Right.
but the fact that she goes there, dresses up as a nun, that kind of it, yeah, obviously
Disarming,
them
right?
disarming. But at the
Yeah.
same time, for a while at the beginning, you see like she doesn't want to do this, but she has to protect her daughter. But over time, she gradually takes on that mantle, and she fully becomes
Hey,
evil.
and
Yeah,
and she starts becoming possessed.
yeah,
Right? I mean, you
Mm.
saw when she shot the doll, the black smoke came out of
Mm.
Micah Monroe's head. I thought that was a great effect, man.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and
that's
also
when you know you're into full supernatural mode, right?
Mhm.
When
yeah,
that happens.
and it makes me wonder, like we sort of talked about this before, like is it because like she was on Longlegs' radar that because her doll was still around and still had the little ball inside it that Satan hides into, to sneak into people's houses. I don't know how that works, but it just is. But is that
I could
why?
buy it though. I could
Yeah,
buy
like
that. Unlike
is that
Arcadia with the
yeah.
dodo birds.
Yeah, but I mean, is that the reason why Micah Monroe had psychic abilities? It's because of that. And then once her mum shoots
I
the
think you're
doll,
right. No, I think you just
that's
nailed it, dude.
when,
I think that
yeah,
makes
because
perfect
you
sense.
see a puff of black smoke coming out of Micah
Yeah.
Monroe's head, and I think that's her
Yep.
losing her psychic ability. And
Oh.
also another twist as well. Let's
There's
not
a
forget,
lot
like,
to this movie.
yeah, and also
Mm.
Longlegs was in the basement of her mother's house this entire time as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so
and technically with what we see in this film, he didn't kill anybody. He just sent her to do all the doll things.
And
okay,
it's just,
question.
yes.
Sorry. No, this is a question for Marcy. Because
Mm.
Marcy says that Oz Perkins speaks to her in the movies that she's seen. Do you think that Disney will approach, and I'm being serious here, do you think they'll approach Oz Perkins to do like let's say a Star Wars or a Marvel movie? Could you see that?
I mean, potentially, but I don't know if that's the direction he would go in.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I
Yeah,
mean, look,
fair enough.
considering who his father was, Anthony
Mhm.
Perkins, why not? I mean, maybe he doesn't want to touch the material, but I would say an Oz Perkins psycho story would actually be very interesting.
That'd be
I
cool.
wouldn't mind seeing Oz Perkins direct something like a Midnight Suns movie where you pull together, Blade and Werewolf by Night, all these, horror characters from Marvel. I think that might be interesting, actually.
Mm.
Just a thought.
I could definitely see that, but I could see Oz Perkins go, if he was going to do like a big franchise film, I could see him doing a horror franchise, like maybe Halloween or the
Oh
or
God,
it,
no! we've
oh
been Halloween
I
to death, man. Come on.
oh okay, like for an example,
Oh, here we go.
maybe
Oz
something.
Perkins is gonna do. We're fan putting him into A New Nightmare on Elm Street with Mike Monroe. There you go.
Yeah,
I'd go
exactly.
for that.
That's what
I'd
I was
go
gonna
for
say.
that.
They tag him to do
Yeah,
something like
'cause
that.
it's
Maybe
dark.
pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay, so
I think we all love him, and we love this movie.
how many people was he like? Because he said that like her mom was the 7th one or something, and then he had an 8th.
Sure.
Was he trying
Yeah.
to get 10? Is that what the
Oh,
goal
there was so much numerology in this movie too,
Hmm.
Philip.
Well, because
I
there
don't
were
know.
the 10 heads that come up or whatever, and so I was thinking maybe he was trying to get 10.
Yes,
But I'm not sure.
yes,
I'm not
I'm
sure
with
what
you.
happened
I think
at
so
the
too.
end. I was a little weird about the ending.
Let's
Like,
rewatch it.
Is it just
Let's
sort of
rewatch
like
it right
cut
now.
off?
Yeah. I'm down to do a commentary for this movie next week. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Nerelden, we got to do your 3 movies, but one day maybe. This
I was
is
like,
a
man,
great movie.
the movie just sort of ended, and I was like, well, wait a minute. You know?
It did end very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage had that final kiss at the screen. That was amazing, Bede. Did you
Well, I
ever
think
think
it's also-
before you died you'd see that?
No, definitely not. But I think what's interesting though is like the ending kind of reminded me of Seven, in which basically the bad guys won in the end.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Longlegs is dead,
I know.
and basically that's the reason why Alicia Witt destroys her daughter's doll, is because like she's now free and doesn't have to worry about him, but she's still going to continue doing this last bit of work for the
But did
devil.
they-
Okay.
Did they start the apocalypse, or is just Satan continues killing people? I don't understand.
I think so. I think the
don't
ending
know.
is implying like, even though, yeah, she like Micah Monroe saved that his boss's daughter, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to stop the devil from doing this to somebody else down the track, find another long legs or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
I was worried it was gonna be the little girl. You know
Or
what I mean?
her, or Micah Monroe would
Yeah.
take over. So
I think Mike is free now. The mom said, "You're
Hmm.
free." He's free now, and so are you. And then she smiled, but then she went back to her dirty deeds, right?
yes,
But I thought Blair Underwood's daughter might
Well,
be the next. All right, there
and
could
then-
be sequels. Who knows?
But then,
right?
like, okay, so she shoots at the doll. She'd only fired 2 or 3 shots into old dude,
I know
and then
there
popped
should have
her
been more
mom.
bullets, right?
Popped her mom with one. That leaves at least one left, or 2. I don't know why.
Well,
killed the
it
doll.
was probably like a 6-hour or something, right? It probably wasn't like a 6-shooter.
Yeah,
So there
She-
were
she
probably
has
at
a-
least 12 bullets in the chamber. You think?
She has a lot of explaining to do. She
Yeah,
has a lot of
she does
explaining
have
to
a
the
lot of
FBI, because
explaining
let's
to
not
do,
forget
yeah.
the other dead FBI agent outside her mom's house that her mom
Mm.
shot with the shotgun.
Oh yeah,
Twice.
Oh,
twice.
and I will give her credit. dude. She was actually holding the gun right, which nobody ever does in movies. So,
Yeah.
props to her.
All right, so that's. I think that we can move on to thanking you guys for joining us. And where can all the listeners find you? What are you guys up to?
Beach,
I
you
know,
can-
Bede, you're all over the social medias. You've got TikTok
well-
videos. You've got
oh,
all kinds of OnlyFans. Come on, help us
yeah,
out
sure.
here, guys.
Guys want to see Pete's butthole?
Yes. Yes, go see it over there. But anyways, though, in terms of like everything that Marcy and I do for the Super Network, you can listen to all of our shows because we have 5 shows on the network, and you can listen to them on all podcast streamers everywhere, and also on the website supermarcy.com. You can find all information on the show on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook under the Super Network. And in terms of myself personally, you can follow me on Twitter at Blue Sky at Letterboxd under Bede Jermaine. You can find all my work over at supermarcy.com and also listen to my solo podcast, Bede vs. the Living Dead, and its spin-off Bede and Steve vs. Camp Crystal Lake on all podcast streamers everywhere as well.
Yes, and my personal information, I'm on the socials as Super Marcy. I'm on Letterboxd as super_Marcy, and it is the best place to see the weird and wacky things I watch on a regular basis.
All right, very nice. And as always, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. You know where to find us, thehorrorreturns.com. Pretty simple. Go anywhere you want from there. Next week, Nerelden is back, our patron, with 3 movies. We're going to watch Tales from the Hood, the original. Let's see, what else? Savage Land, and how's this for a feel-good movie? The Nightingale. You guys seen that one?
Yes,
No.
yes, we have.
I haven't.
Yes,
I don't know what that
nothing.
is.
Oh,
That's
I
it's
won't
the
give it away then.
best feel-good movie to come out
Awesome.
of Australia.
I'm watching it right
Yes.
after we do this with my wife. It'll be great.
I wouldn't do that, but okay. So, Philip, since you're on the high note right now, until the horror returns again.
Good night.
Woo! All right.
Bye-bye.
I don't know what I'm going to
See
go
ya.
watch, but